Hey you guys, this is Rafael from Shiloh Relics. I hope you're all doing well. I'm glad to be with you again today. And speaking of being glad, I've had a few people call in and place orders, a couple of new customers last few days, and they said how much they enjoyed these and how much they're learning. And that makes me feel good because it's great getting to share a passion with someone else that appreciates it. And if you're a collector of anything, it's a passion because it's something that just catches our eye and fascinates us. And I'm so fortunate to get to share with you the things that I truly love. Today, we're going to talk about one of the pieces that I just bought out of that big sword collection, over 200 swords. And it's one that when I saw it, I was like, that's pretty. And then I looked at it and I studied it. And the more I looked at it, the more I studied it, the cooler it got. It's got so much about it that just makes you say, wow, that's cool. This, from this distance, looks just like a plain sword, nothing really fancy. But it's not. It's a sword that's actually from the 1820's. And like, how do you know it's from the 1820's? Because if you study things, you can learn things. This one has a full length blade, 31 3/4 inches in length. It's got the original factory blue and gold finishing. They call it fire blue and gold. What they put detail-wise is what lets us know how cool it is. If you notice, one side has a list of the presidents, and it has John Adams, has Thomas Jefferson. The newest president, if 1820s can be new, is John Quincy Adams. John Quincy Adams, 6th president of the U.S., 1825 to 1829. And when you see that's the last one, it's like, well, that's a clue that the ballpark this sword was made in. The other side, though, is extra cool. And I know I say the word cool a lot. My friend Jill up at Antiques Roadshow, she spells it K-E-W-L. She says, you say that all the time. And I said, yes, but there's some things that's my key word on when I really, really like it. And it's cool, K-E-W-L. So hey, Jill, if you're watching. On the back side, it's got Washington up at the top. And at the top, I mean towards the point of the blade. As you go down, it's got Revolutionary War heroes. And it's got John Brooks. Well, we'll talk about Brooks in a minute because that's towards the bottom. We've got Nathaniel Greene. Right below Washington, we've got Lafayette, meaning the Marquis de Lafayette that helped America so much during the Revolutionary War. But we've got General Nathan Greene, who was born in Rhode Island, ended up becoming most famous because of his actions in the South, and ended up living in Georgia. We've got Joseph Warren. We've got simply Warren, and they're done in a banner with their name in capital letters. And it's got just a few of those that made such a difference. And if you notice, most of them are Massachusetts men. So that gives us another clue that this sword was probably made 1820s and made for someone in Massachusetts, possibly one of those guys that served during the Revolutionary War. We don't know that for sure, but you got to take a leap of faith sometime with anything. But it mentions Joseph Warren. He was a physician, and he was the president of the Massachusetts Provisional Congress while they were deciding, hey, we don't want to be English anymore. We want to be Americans. And he is one of the guys that fought at Bunker Hill, died at Bunker Hill. One of the first martyrs of the Civil War. He was a doctor. And if you notice, a lot of those early guys were doctors because doctors were at that time, were such prominent members of the society that they knew everybody and they were very influential. We have John Brooks, another cat that was a physician, but he served throughout the war. He was if I remember correctly, he was a general in the Massachusetts militia, he was governor of the state of Massachusetts, or the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, from 1816 to 1823. So another 1820 time frame right through there. But it's just, the more you look, the cooler it gets. And some things that's okay. Some of them you look at, it's like, that's okay. This one, the more you look, the cooler it gets. It's got 6 stars. If you notice, each side has 6 stars like this going down the blade. 6th President John Quincy Adams. So it could tie into that. You don't know. But the blade is something else. And the more I looked at it, the cooler it got. We've got the rest of the sword is fairly simply designed. They put all the work into the blade. The cross guard, and we've got a little shield here like this. The shield has 4 stars on it. And the stripes. Grip of the sword is beautiful. I love the look, the simplicity and the beauty of that grip is something else. It's got a wooden core, and on top of the wooden core, it's got shark skin, often called shagreen. Oh, I hadn't had all my coffee yet this morning, can you tell? But it's got beautiful copper wire over the top of it, and that copper against the shark skin grip, man, it just gives it such a cool look. And on top, we have a pommel cap. And if you notice, this pommel cap is different than most of them. It's big, and it's got a single star, and it's just massive. And a lot of people will call this kind of handle, like this, a pistol grip. And you'll hear it referred to as that. The scabbard that's with this one, in my opinion, is 100% the one that it came with. And a lot of people say, how do you know that that is the right scabbard? Unless you've sat with that sword every day of its life and watched it and be sure nobody changed it, you don't. You have to take that leap of faith that we talked about earlier. But this one, there's a couple of things I do look for. One, and first and foremost, is does it match the length of the sword? Because especially on a sword like this, they're not going to send you a sword with a 34 3/4 inch blade and a 35 inch long scabbard. It was finely crafted and would fit. If you notice, this one matches to a T. Also, when you look at it, and it's got those same components, do the flavors match? Did they put the same amount of gold gilt on both things? How does it fit when it seats up to the guard? This one originally would have had a little washer. The washer's gone, so the guard moves just a little bit. But when you seat that sword up in there, fits like a glove. I mean, even with the little bit of movement to the guard, that lets you know that this one, in my opinion, is the one. But don't let a sword scabbard being replaced kill it for you, because that's what they did during the war. If your sword lost your scabbard, were you going to run around with just a sword? Hell no, you were going to go get you another scabbard and make it work. This one, I love this sword. If I hit the lottery tonight, you guys cannot buy this sword. But last week, I had a daughter turned 16, just bought a new car. Not a new one, but new to us. We had a wedding. I kicked in a little bit on. So now is the best time to own this sword because, like I said, I win the lottery. You guys can have it because I like it. I hope you're all doing well. Hope everything's going well. I think there's a lot of people around here that have COVID. I've got a good thought for them every day. I've got a good thought for you guys every day because somebody needs to be thinking positive thoughts, and we can do it. We just have to share it. Be that ray of kindness. I hadn't said this in a long time. If you see somebody, just say hi. And you got to say it because they can't just read your smile on your face because hopefully you're wearing a mask. I don't do it like I should, but I'm trying to do it better because it can't hurt. And it's not that hard a thing to do. They're not asking you to donate blood every day. They're not asking you to do a ton of things. They're asking you to put a little simple covering over your mouth. That's not that hard. If doing that will save one person from dying from this stuff, it's worth it. So I hope you guys are safe. I hope you're all right. I hope that things are going well. I know I hadn't been doing as many of these lately, but that's thanks to you guys. I have been fortunate enough to be packing up stuff daily and shipping it out, and I am so thankful. And because every time y'all order something, I get to get a little extra money and go buy something else. And that's what I love. The only reason I started selling to start with was because I would have enough money to go buy something else. Actually, the next episode, I'm going to tell you that little story because it changed my life. I hope you guys are doing well. I'll catch you next time. Love you guys.